Right now, as you are watching this, a catastrophic winter storm is already forming that will impact over 150 million Americans in the next 72 hours. And what's about to happen in the next 15 minutes of this video might save your life or the life of someone you love. This is not a drill. 14 states have already declared states of emergency. And if you live anywhere between Texas and Maine, you need to hear every single word I am about to tell you, because this storm just shifted and the new models show totals that are absolutely insane. Before we go frame by frame through what's coming, drop a comment right now telling me what city you are in. I am going to give you specific forecasts for over 50 cities across America, and I need to know where you are so you get the exact information that could keep you safe. Here's what we know right now at this moment. Winter storm warnings stretch over 2,000 miles from Boston, Massachusetts, all the way back to New Mexico. That's the distance from New York to Los Angeles. One storm. Over 100 million people are under winter storm warnings right now as I am speaking to you. But here is where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that changed just 3 hours ago. Ice storm warnings are now in effect from southeast Texas near Houston up through Shreveport, Louisiana, all the way to Atlanta, Georgia, and Charlotte, North Carolina. We're talking about over 1 inch of ice in some locations. And I am going to tell you exactly what that means at the 3-minute 20-second mark of this video, because what happens when you get that much ice is something most people have never seen. Let me show you something that's going to blow your mind. At exactly 6 o'clock this evening, Central Standard Time, freezing rain is going to begin falling in North Texas. Not tomorrow, tonight. As you re-watching this video, people in Dallas-Fort Worth are about 3 hours away from the first ice hitting their windshields. And here's your first reward for watching this far. If you are in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you need to hear this. You're about to get 15 inches of snow, not 10, not 12, 15 inches. And it's coming faster than any snowstorm you have seen in the last decade. Let's track this frame by frame, city by city, hour by hour, because the timing of this storm is everything. And if you are in the wrong place at the wrong time, you could be stranded. Tonight, right now, freezing rain and sleet are stretching from North Texas into southern Arkansas. Heavier bands of snow are ramping up in Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and as far north as Topeka, Kansas. This is just the beginning. By midnight tonight, Little Rock, you're going to see heavy snow. Memphis, same thing. Decent snow overnight. Freezing rain and sleet will continue across northern Mississippi, southern Arkansas, and all across the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. Here's where the models just shifted. Saturday afternoon, our area of snow moves into Kentucky and Tennessee, even back towards Illinois. While that's happening, heavy freezing rain starts to ramp up right along the Mississippi River. Monroe, Louisiana, and Shreveport, those areas are going to be dealing with over 1 inch of ice between now and Sunday. Over 1 inch of ice. Do you know what that does to a power line? Do you know what that does to a tree that's been standing for 100 years? I am going to show you at minute 5 exactly what this means for your power grid. But first, let me tell you about the 2 waves. This is critical. What we're seeing right now is wave number 1. This is the smaller wave. The second wave develops over the Rockies on Saturday, and that's when this goes from a pretty serious storm to an absolutely massive winter storm. Saturday afternoon, moisture from the Gulf and the Pacific creates a brand new second wave across Texas and Oklahoma. Moderate to heavy snow in Oklahoma City, Amarillo, and Lubbock. Freezing rain stretches across almost all of Tennessee. Even San Antonio, Texas is going to see ice accumulation by tomorrow afternoon. If you are in Shreveport, ice storm conditions really ramp up Saturday afternoon. Austin, Texas, you're going to start seeing ice accumulation tomorrow. This is the same Austin that rarely sees temperatures below freezing. Saturday evening into overnight, we have one massive winter storm stretching from Delaware and Maryland all the way into Texas. A large swath of freezing rain is going to impact the Carolinas. This is the same area hit by Hurricane Helene just 2 years ago. And now we are dealing with up to 1 inch of ice that could lead to widespread power outages for up to a week. Back along the Mississippi River, significant ice accumulation is going to lead to power outages as early as tomorrow night. With the amount of ice we were going to see right along the Mississippi River, we could have power outages lasting over a week in some isolated locations. Here is the question everybody is asking. When does it end? Sunday morning, areas like Dallas-Fort Worth and Little Rock transition from freezing rain into snow, and this snow is going to be heavier than what is happening in the Northeast. Snowfall rates as high as 3 to 4 inches per hour in Oklahoma and Texas with the heavier bands. If you ray in the Northeast at the same time, snowfall rates will be closer to 2 to 3 inches even with heavier bands. Why the difference? It's not going to be as cold in the Northeast, so the snow will be more wet instead of fluffy. In the central and southern plains, it's much more fluffy and cold, which means it stacks up faster. Sunday, late morning and early afternoon, that large area of snow moves into southern New England. It stretches from Little Rock all the way to New York City. The heaviest bands of snow will be in New Jersey, northern Kentucky near Louisville and Cincinnati, and also Washington, D.C. We still have heavy freezing rain ongoing right along the Mississippi River Valley. Vicksburg, Mississippi and Memphis, Tennessee are going to be some of the hardest hit areas in terms of ice accumulation. Tupelo is likely going to pick up over 1 inch of ice. Atlanta, Georgia, we could see over half an inch of ice accumulation, leading to scattered to numerous power outages that could last a few days. Sunday morning into early afternoon, this winter storm continues to grow, dumping lots of snow across the Ohio Valley, especially near Columbus, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. Most areas in central and northern Pennsylvania will be impacted. Southern New England, listen carefully. Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Boston, Massachusetts, you are in the jackpot area for snowfall. We could see well over 1 to 2 feet of snow over a span of about 36 hours. Snowfall rates as high as 3 to 4 inches per hour. By Sunday night, that snow transitions to freezing rain for Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and even New York City. Most of North Carolina, including Charlotte, and almost everyone in Virginia will be seeing ice accumulation by this point. 1/4 to half an inch of ice in Maryland and Virginia. Early Monday morning, most of our wintry precipitation winds down. A little bit of light snow remains during the daytime Monday in New England. Then we redone with this winter storm by Monday night. Now, here's the promise I made at the beginning. At minute 5, I told you I'd explain exactly what over 1 inch of ice does. So here it is. 1 inch of ice adds approximately 500 pounds of weight to a power line spanning just 50 feet. Trees that have stood for 100 years will snap like toothpicks. When a tree falls on a power line in a rural area during an ice storm, power companies can get to it because the roads are covered in ice. That's why we are talking about power outages lasting a week or more. In some areas along the Mississippi River, we could see over 1.5 inches of ice accumulation. That is 750 pounds on a single power line segment. Infrastructure isn't built for this. This is catastrophic damage that takes weeks to repair. Let me give you the city-by-city snowfall totals now. This is what you've been waiting for. Tulsa, Oklahoma, close to 15 inches of snow when this is all done. Oklahoma City, right around 12 inches of snow. There's going to be a glazing of ice underneath this snow that could make you slip and slide. So if you're replanning on going outdoors, be very cautious. Kansas City, 3 to 6 inches. St. Louis, 4 to 8 inches. But here's the interesting part. Areas like Memphis, Nashville, and Little Rock have uptrended in snowfall over the last 24 hours. Most areas here will pick up at least 3 to 6 inches of snow. Little Rock could see up to 8 inches. Louisville, Kentucky, and Evansville, Indiana, 10 to 14 inches of snow expected. Cincinnati, Ohio, 12 to 15 inches. Columbus, Ohio, 12 to 15 inches. Cleveland, 4 to 8 inches. Now let's talk about the Northeast. Pennsylvania, widespread 1 to 2 feet of snow. New Jersey, 1 to 2 feet. Boston, Massachusetts, approaching 18 to 20 inches of snow when this is all done. Northern Virginia, at least 6 to 10 inches before transitioning to freezing rain Sunday night. Virginia Beach and Roanoke, 3 to 6 inches of snow. Washington, D.C., significant snowfall before the changeover to ice. Philadelphia, heavy snow transitioning to freezing rain. New York City, same story. Heavy snow, then ice. Anywhere south into the Carolinas and Georgia, we re-talking pretty much all freezing rain. Here are the ice accumulation totals, and this is where it gets really dangerous. Tennessee back towards Abilene and Dallas-Fort Worth. Widespread 1/4 to half an inch of ice. Some isolated locations over 3/4 of an inch, especially near Paris, Texas, and into southern Arkansas. Along the Mississippi River, we could see over 1 inch of ice in a widespread area near Tupelo, Mississippi, and Vicksburg. These areas could have power outages for over a week. Some locations could see over 1.5 inches of ice accumulation. Nashville, Tennessee, and southern Kentucky. Widespread 1/4 to half an inch of ice. The Mid-Atlantic, most areas around 1/4 to half an inch, with the highest totals in the higher elevations of the Appalachian Mountains just outside Atlanta, Georgia. Upstate South Carolina and western North Carolina, I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte got up to half an inch of ice. This is a very dangerous ice storm. You need to be prepared for widespread power outages that could last days and in some cases over a week. But the storm isn't the only danger, and this is the part that most people aren't talking about. What happens after the storm passes is just as deadly as the storm itself. Life-threatening wind chills well below 0 degrees are going to spread from the north-central United States all the way to central Texas. The northern plains and Midwest face extreme cold with wind chills plunging past 60 degrees below zero. Let me give you the temperature forecast for Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. after the storm passes. Florence, Alabama, 5 degrees. Tupelo, Mississippi, 4 degrees. Yazoo City, Mississippi, 7 degrees. Jackson, Mississippi, 13 degrees. This is the raw temperature, not the wind chill. Add the winds and it's even colder. Dallas, 11 degrees. Oklahoma City, 13 degrees. Little Rock, 1 degree. Nashville, 0 degrees. It's going to be colder in Nashville than it is in Great Falls, Montana on Tuesday morning. That is how insane this cold is. If you lose power during the ice storm, these temperatures are life-threatening. This is why I am telling you right now, you need to check on your neighbors, especially if they are elderly. Bring your pets inside. Form a relationship with your neighbor before this starts. Here is something most weather forecasters aren't telling you. The Climate Prediction Center has painted a huge blue area over the southeast for the next 10 days. From the 6 to 10 day time period, we're going to be below average in New Orleans, Atlanta, the whole state of Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, up into the Interstate 95 corridor in the mid-Atlantic. The Tennessee and Ohio valleys are included. We re-stuck with the cold air. And here's where it gets really interesting. There are multiple signals for another big-time snowstorm that impacts the south and parts of the East Coast right after this one. When you have this much cold air to work with, that's something you can ignore even on the long-range data. I am not going to show you those models yet because they are going to change, but it is definitely something we have to watch. Let me answer the questions I know you are asking right now. Should I go to the grocery store? Yes, but go now. Don't wait until tomorrow. By tomorrow afternoon, the roads in many areas will already be dangerous. How much food and water should I have? At least 72 hours worth. If you in an area expecting over half an inch of ice, plan for a week. What about generators? If you have one, make sure it's ready now. Run it for 15 minutes to make sure it works. Check your fuel. Never run a generator indoors or in an attached garage. What if I lose power? Do not use your oven or stove to heat your home. Carbon monoxide poisoning kills people every winter. If you have a fireplace, make sure you have enough wood. If you don't have a fireplace and you lose power, go to a warming center or a friend or family member's home. Should I travel? Absolutely not. If you're planning to travel this weekend, cancel your plans. This is not a storm you want to be caught in on the highway. Interstate 35, Interstate 20, Interstate 40 between Amarillo and Oklahoma City will be treacherous. Interstate 65 from Nashville to Louisville will be extremely dangerous. Interstate 95 from Richmond to Boston will have major delays and dangerous conditions. Here's what you need to do right now before this storm hits. Charge all your devices, your phone, your laptop, your tablets, your portable chargers, everything. Fill your bathtub with water. If you lose power, you might lose water pressure. You can use this water for flushing toilets. Bring in any outdoor furniture or decorations. High winds combined with ice will turn these into projectiles. Park your car in a garage if you have one. If you don't, park away from trees and power lines. Know where your flashlights are. Check the batteries. If you take medication, make sure you have enough for at least a week. Fill your gas tank. If power goes out, gas stations can pump gas. Have a plan for your pets. If you have to evacuate to a warming center, know which ones accept pets. Check on your elderly neighbors now before the storm hits. Make sure they have what they need. Now let me give you the specific timing for major cities. This is the information that could save your life. Dallas-Fort Worth, freezing rain begins tonight around 6 p.m. Central Time. Transitions to snow Sunday morning. Total ice accumulation 1/4 to half an inch. Total snow 1 to 4 inches. Oklahoma City, heavy snow begins late tonight, continues through Sunday morning. Total accumulation 12 inches. Ice glaze underneath. Tulsa, heavy snow begins tonight. Continues through Sunday. Total accumulation up to 15 inches. This is going to be one of the hardest hit cities. Little Rock, snow begins overnight tonight. Heavy at times Saturday. Transitions between snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Total snow 3 to 8 inches. Ice accumulation quarter to half an inch. Memphis, snow begins overnight. Transitions to sleet and freezing rain Saturday. Back to snow briefly. Total snow 3 to 6 inches. Ice accumulation quarter to half an inch. Nashville, snow begins Saturday morning. Transitions to freezing rain Saturday afternoon. This is the critical period. Ice accumulation quarter to half an inch, possibly more. Power outages likely. Louisville, snow begins Saturday afternoon. Heavy at times through Sunday. Total accumulation 10 to 14 inches. Brief period of sleet possible. Cincinnati, snow begins Saturday afternoon. Heavy Sunday morning. Total accumulation 12 to 15 inches. Lexington, Kentucky, snow begins Saturday evening. Heavy Sunday morning. Total accumulation 8 to 12 inches. Possibility of sleet mixing in. Indianapolis, snow begins Saturday evening. Continues through Sunday. Total accumulation 8 to 10 inches. Columbus, Ohio, snow begins Sunday morning, heavy at times. Total accumulation 12 to 15 inches. Cleveland, snow begins Sunday. Total accumulation 4 to 8 inches. St. Louis, snow begins Saturday. Total accumulation 4 to 8 inches. Kansas City, snow begins Friday night. Total accumulation 3 to 6 inches. Shreveport, Louisiana, freezing rain begins tonight, continues through Sunday. Total ice accumulation potentially over 1 inch. This is extremely dangerous. Power outages expected to last over a week in some areas. Jackson, Mississippi, freezing rain Saturday into Sunday. Ice accumulation half an inch to 3/4 of an inch. Tupelo, Mississippi, freezing rain Saturday into Sunday. Ice accumulation over 1 inch. Catastrophic power outages possible. Vicksburg, Mississippi, freezing rain Saturday into Sunday. Ice accumulation over 1 inch. This is one of the hardest hit areas. Atlanta, Georgia, freezing rain begins Saturday evening, continues through Sunday. Ice accumulation half an inch. Power outages likely for several days. Charlotte, North Carolina, freezing rain Sunday. Ice accumulation quarter to half an inch. Power outages possible. Raleigh, North Carolina, mixed precipitation Sunday. Ice accumulation quarter of an inch. Richmond, Virginia, snow Saturday night into Sunday. Transitions to freezing rain Sunday night. Total snow 6 to 10 inches. Ice accumulation quarter of an inch. Washington, D.C., heavy snow Sunday. Transitions to freezing rain Sunday night. Total snow 8 to 12 inches before changeover. Philadelphia, heavy snow Sunday. Transitions to freezing rain Sunday evening. Total snow 10 to 14 inches before changeover. New York City, heavy snow Sunday. Transitions to freezing rain Sunday night. Total snow 8 to 12 inches before changeover. Boston, Massachusetts, heavy snow Sunday into Monday. Total accumulation 18 to 20 inches. This could be one of the biggest snowstorms Boston has seen in 5 years. Providence, Rhode Island, heavy snow Sunday into Monday. Total accumulation 16 to 20 inches. Hartford, Connecticut, heavy snow Sunday into Monday. Total accumulation 14 to 18 inches. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, heavy snow Sunday. Total accumulation 12 to 16 inches. Buffalo, New York, lake effect snow adds to storm total. Total accumulation 10 to 14 inches. Syracuse, New York, heavy snow Sunday into Monday. Total accumulation 12 to 16 inches. Portland, Maine, heavy snow Monday. Total accumulation 8 to 12 inches. Now, I know some of you are in smaller cities and towns. Drop a comment with your location and I'll do my best to give you specific information. This is a massive storm covering over 2,000 miles, and every location is going to have slightly different timing and impacts. Here's what I need you to understand. This storm has shifted in the last few hours. The models are showing higher totals than they were this morning. The ice accumulation forecast has increased. The area of impact has expanded. This is not a storm to take lightly. This is not a storm where you can wait until tomorrow to prepare. By tomorrow, it might be too late. If you are in an area expecting significant ice, your power could be out for a week. In January, with temperatures below zero, that's a life-threatening situation. If you are in an area expecting over a foot of snow, you could be snowed in for several days. Make sure you have everything you need now. This winter storm stands out not just for the scale, but for how long the impacts are going to last. We are not talking about a storm that hits and moves out in 12 hours. We are talking about wintry precipitation lasting from Friday night all the way through Monday in some areas. That's over 60 hours of continuous snow, sleet, and freezing rain. The infrastructure damage expected from this storm could last weeks, if not months. Trees down on power lines, ice coating everything, roads impassable. This is a winter storm that will be remembered. Don't miss what is coming next, because the long-range models are showing something that could be even bigger developing next week. Multiple signals for another major winter storm that could impact the same areas that are getting hit by this one. When you have this much cold air locked in place, when you have this much moisture available, the atmosphere can just keep producing these storms one after another. And that's exactly what we re-seeing in the long-range data. I am going to be tracking this around the clock. Make sure you drop a comment with your city so I can give you the most accurate forecast for your specific location. This is the most significant winter storm we've seen in 5 years. Over 150 million people are going to be impacted. 14 states have declared emergencies. This is real. This is happening, and it starts tonight. Stay safe out there. Check on your neighbors. Prepare now.